What a difference a day makes. So yesterday we ended up with very wet gear and very dirty bikes, but today the sun is shining on us as we start our trip down to Plymouth to get the ferry to Santander and start our journey to Portugal.
And let's hope it's a smooth crossing and the sun stays with us all the way down. Anyway, we'll see you on the road. So this was our proposed route. From Santander, we're going to have a night in a Parador in the Picos before heading to Astorga, a place we stayed before. And then we cross the border into Portugal for our first night in Chaves before heading to Porto for a 2-night stay. Then we're going to follow the Douro River to Folgassa before heading south and riding Portugal's highest road and ending up in Covilhã. Then we're heading back into Spain, 1-night stay in Salamanca, and then a final Parador stay before we head back to catch the ferry from Santander. It's about a 5 or 6 hour ride from our house to Plymouth, and it's not particularly inspiring road, so we decided to break the journey up and stay 1 night in the coach house inn, which is very pleasant, and then it was just a couple of hours ride down to Plymouth.
So much easier to see who I am and who I wanna be. No, getting old don't bother me. Truth can be a bitter pill, but it'll do you right and set you free the way a lie never will. Like climbing up the steepest hill, but truth can be a bitter pill. And life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like the river flows, life will take you where you need to go.
Sadly, this is where we got separated, so Sue didn't see what happened next.
I did explain in my most grovelling way possible that the bloke he'd just let through was my hubby, and his response, well, you'll be on the same ship. I wasn't too bothered until I heard some unrepeatable expletives from Bryce signalling something was most definitely amiss before losing intercom reception. I was so close to screeching past Mr. Jobsworth and the rest of the loading crew in an attempt to help, but on reflection thought me being detained by port authorities wouldn't be good for Bry or the holiday.
Just a word of caution, no matter how experienced you are on getting on and off ferries, don't be so focused on the deckhand signals that you forget about these raised anchor points, especially on a fully loaded GSA. Meanwhile, back on the train Tiger, Sue demonstrating how it should be done.
We're here, on board.
In a windy Plymouth. Cheers. 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 Holiday starts now. About 21 hours later, after a pretty smooth crossing, we arrive in Santander.
It's never much fun experiencing the choking bun fight that is disembarkation on the Pont of Ven. But this crossing had been even more rammed as hundreds of Spanish riders returned from the TT races. One highlight was, however, meeting 3 of our channel supporters, Brian, Wayne and James.
We finally made it onto the delightful N621, one of the best roads entering the Picos. Sadly, unbeknown to us, they were doing some major roadworks, so the journey took us twice as long as it should have done.
While the boats are leaking, soon the walls will be giving in. Anytime now, anytime now. Another shrug of the shoulders. I guess I'll be walking home in the rain. I lost you, but then you were mine again. Just like the wind and the fire, wind and the
Portes is a famous little village of about 2,000 people. It's recognised as one of Spain's most beautiful villages. It also acts as an incredible base to the eastern region of the Picos. And a lot of bikers base themselves here and do ride-outs and can happily spend at least a week exploring all the local roads. As you exit Portes on the CA 185, the road steadily climbs all the way to Fuente, a stunningly beautiful amphitheatre in the mountains and the site of one of the Paradors of Spain, which was going to be our first night's accommodation. Paradors are a Spanish state-owned chain of luxury hotels. They're usually located in historic buildings or in modern buildings and nature areas with a special appeal or panoramic views of historical and monumental cities. So we were really looking forward to our first experience of staying in a Parador. Well, good afternoon folks. We finally arrived at our first destination on this latest Spain-Portugal trip. It's a little overcast but nice and warm, and we find ourselves up in the mountain, up in the Picos, staying in our very first Parador, the Parador Fuente, I think it's called. We've just checked in. It's a lovely quiet place. We've had a couple of hours ride, maybe 2-3 hours ride from the ferryport in Santander, and I'm desperate for a beer. Anyway, so before we do all that, let's go and take a look at the route. Room 215. God, I'm exhausted. This lovely his and hers sinks, shower, toilet. Nice big beds. One large or two singles pushed together. But this is worth taking a look at.
Look at that.
Isn't it? This is the view. It's so peaceful and quiet. So, first thoughts?
It's spacious, it's clean, and it's a welcome rest.
Oh,
After how long did it take us to get off the ferry today? An hour and a half or something?
yeah, more closer to 2 hours by the time we packed our bags.
But a nice ride here, lovely. So yeah, a few roadworks
Yes.
and a bit of hanging about that it's worth knowing about, because that was a lot of miles of road.
Yeah, if any of you are thinking of coming to this neck of the woods via Potes, the N621 is a stunning ride, but at the moment it's like a building site. It
Looks like they're widening the road,
they're
doesn't
digging
it?
the hole it up, and it takes forever to get through. So be warned, and it's going to take quite some time to get it finished. But nevertheless, a lovely
Nice
ride up here.
place.
Yeah.
Nice place. Interested to go and have a wander.
I think we should just get changed down, go and explore. Let's go grab a beer and a wander. Just time to download the footage of today's ride before dinner. And here we are at the Parador for dinner. We're having a lamb stew, aren't we?
Yeah.
With potato
Really lovely.
and crispy bread. And washed down with a bottle of the finest rioja with the fine. Here we are. Just having a post-dinner glass of wine and this magnificent lounge area. This is it. How's the rioja, babe?
Isn't it lovely? What a lovely place to have an after-dinner drink.
Yeah. Let's just finish them off, shall we? Yes. So would we recommend a stay at the Parador de Fuente Day? It's time for Sue's reviews.
The Parador de Fuente Day is rated 3-star on booking.com and is a modern building, a good 2.5 hour ride from the ferry through the fantastic mountainous route of the N621. When we last rode this route, it was unhindered and pretty empty. This time, the rebuilding of the road meant long delays, but it was still a beautiful ride, and the Parador is in a lovely location. Our room was spacious, with 2 single beds pushed together to form a very good sized double. The furnishings are fairly old, but the room was clean and bright, with a wall-mounted TV, mini fridge offering beer and water to purchase, and a good ensuite with an excellent shower. The TV only offered Spanish channels, but the Wi-Fi was good, and the walks around the Parador, if you plan to spend some time in the area, are stunning. The ladies on reception were very helpful, both at check-in and check-out, and booked us a table in the cafe for dinner when the restaurant was full. I guess my advice is to book dinner with your room. There were a number of small covered areas which seemed very popular, with many bikers staying. They were close to our room, and we were confident that the bikes would be secure. The Parador is quite remote, and there's nowhere walkable to eat, so we ate as everybody else did who didn't want to drive the 14 miles back to Portugal at the accommodation. We opted for the restaurant menu rather than the less formal cafe, and we both chose the lamb stew, which was tasty, if a little lonely with no vegetables. Breakfast was pretty good buffet, or an a la carte menu of cooked items. The setting of the Parador de Fuente day is beautiful, and with everything we needed for our brief stay, we would have no hesitation recommending it.
The view from the room in the morning. Look at that. What a view to wake up to. And the sun is just breaking through. Now it's time to head off on the second leg to Astorga. Well, good morning folks. As you can see, the sun is shining, it's coming out, breaking through the clouds. We had a great night last night. Our very first stop, our very first experience of a Parador. Fascinating place. And today we're heading to Astorga, but first of all we're going to grab a coffee in the beautiful town of Riano. But just take a look at this. What a backdrop for a place to stay. Amazing place. Highly recommend to stay in a Parador if you've never had one before. Anyway, let's catch you on the road.